Every 70 seconds, someone in America develops Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, which impairs many different mental functions, including cognition. This is a terrible thought, but it is not one that has to cross our minds without some hope for the future. There are many things being done to get this problem solved. While I have not been personally affected by this disease, I am lucky enough that nobody close to me has gotten it. That doesn't make the problem any less real in my mind. Today I am speaking to help you understand the disease, its impacts, and give you a way to help. The Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research Foundation is a non-profit organization working towards understanding and eventually curing the disease. They also seek to provide help to those already living with it. If you don't already know about Alzheimer's, you're not alone, but the disease is becoming more and more widespread, and the time for a cure, or at least some treatment, is now. While government programs like the National Institute of Health do a certain amount of research, Alzheimer's is such a broad, aggressive, and misunderstood disease that we cannot rely on the government alone to provide enough to get it cured. 5.3 million Americans and 35 million people worldwide have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Not only is it affecting a lot of people, but it is the 7th leading cause of death in America. While treatment options have been discovered, enabling those suffering with this brain cell destroying disease to find some comfort, there is still absolutely no cure. And the confusion does not end there. In addition to there being no cure, scientists and doctors still don't have an easy way to diagnose the disease. There are warning signs, such as simple memory loss or difficulty performing what were previously simple or routine tasks. But there's no surefire way for doctors to make a diagnosis. An early diagnosis, while nothing compared to a cure, would at least allow the person to set their affairs in order and settle down in a safe, simplified environment, or begin some sort of drug treatment option if possible. I've told you the problem, that 35 million people worldwide are still living with Alzheimer's disease. That doesn't even include the 35 million families of those people who are left wondering why their loved one can't recognize them. It is a disease that causes suffering, and there needs to be a cure. The Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research is one of many organizations of scientists hoping to develop a cure. All of them working together, with all of us providing them with whatever we can to help, is the only way we'll ever get anything done. The Fisher Center is one of the highest rated nonprofits in the world, based on the amount of donations received sent directly into their research. They are a team of scientists led by Nobel Prize winner Dr. Paul Greengard. They're not only a great charity or only great scientists, they are both, and on the cutting edge of Alzheimer's research. They explore the deep-down scientific causes and potential cures for the disease, such as methods of actually reversing damage to the nerve and brain cells, as well as exploring the science of caregiving so those already afflicted can be provided the epitome of Alzheimer's specific care. The specifics of their research are very complicated, but the steps they are taking are definitely in the right direction. They're seeking to understand why Alzheimer's happens, which seems to be based around a protein in our systems called beta amyloid. This protein forms a plaque which chokes off parts of the brain and causes Alzheimer's. The Fisher Center scientists were among the first to discover this protein and how it works. A portion of their research is directed towards early onset Alzheimer's, which is defined as Alzheimer's affecting anyone under the age of 65. This is a serious and scary part of the disease that not all foundations cater towards, but I'm glad the Fisher Center is working on it. I've compared quite a few Alzheimer's research charities, and the Fisher Center has come out on top in all counts, both in providing the broadest yet somehow most specific Alzheimer's research, and in the margin of donations that is sent directly into their research program. Now, a world without Alzheimer's is what we all truly desire. With the Fisher Center and other research organizations collaborating and working long hours for a cure, this hope is not beyond belief. But without these people, and without a cure, what would happen? It has already been proven that Alzheimer's is growing in prevalence, affecting more and more people every day. Until I began this research, I was unaware of just how prevalent it may someday become. According to the World Alzheimer's Report released in 2009, the 35 million people affected today worldwide will grow to 65 million by 2030 and 115 million by 2050. This is shocking. The time for a cure is now, before it can grow from the 7th leading killer of Americans to a potential 1st or 2nd. Hopefully these numbers remain what they are, just numbers. The Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research is getting closer and closer to a cure every day. As I said previously, they have found the protein beta amyloid causes the constrictions in the brain, and drugs are being developed as we speak that seek to interact with it and stop this from happening in the first place. Even before the root problem can be solved, they have already discovered drugs that help treat the cognitive and agitative symptoms of Alzheimer's, with and with increased funding, these drugs can become more and more effective. In a world with a cure for Alzheimer's, we would no longer have to look someone who we once knew and who once knew us in the eyes and see no look of recognition there. This tragedy can be avoided, and I truly hope it will be. If we can cure Alzheimer's, who knows what would be next? It seems to be the closest to the verge of success, and I think with a surge of help, the cure will be discovered. We cannot simply let others give and do the work and say that bigger and more financially successful people can provide for this cure. We are one world, one people, and we must help each other. We must take action. When there's a problem throughout human history, we have found a solution. The problems we face in today's world can't be directly handled by everyone because they are far too complex. We can still help by providing for those who do understand, those who can help. I said that when I began that every 70 seconds someone in America develops Alzheimer's disease. This was intended to be frightening, but I hope after all the information I have given, it's not so frightening anymore. There's a lot we can do to help, and there are a lot of people with the same goals. If you want to help, I will provide a link in the information for this video that will allow you to donate to the Fisher Center for Alzheimer's Research. Even if you do not feel like you can donate, you can help by spreading awareness for the Fisher Center and for Alzheimer's disease generally. I hope that by the time we, as college students, are 65 plus, Alzheimer's will be cured. Actually, never mind hope. I'm sure that we will find a cure.